share it later with those who missed it.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, hey, how's it going, everyone? My name's Deonte Burden. I am an accountant by profession, also a serial entrepreneur. And what I mean by serial entrepreneur is I've started, bought, sold, lost probably over 25 businesses over the past 20 years. But by profession, I am an accountant. My main business is my business service firm, which is Majestic Business Services. We're pretty much a one-stop shop for small businesses. We do the bookkeeping, tax prep, payroll, and consulting for small businesses. Mainly deal with the smaller moms and pops and some mid-sized businesses with that. I'm also an active YouTuber. I have a YouTube page, Mr. Short Dollar, where we talk about personal finance, business, entrepreneurship, and real estate investing. We've been doing real well with that. We've had that channel going for about 2 years now. With some of the different businesses that I own a commercial cleaning company. I own a beauty salon. I own pretty much a private equity firm where we buy assets on a discount and we try to hold them or maybe sell them at a premium. I own a salon out of there. We own different, vending routes where we buy, soda machines and candy machines. We own through that. So I have my finger in a lot of stuff with different things that I do. But it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. I love doing what I'm doing. And with today, I just want to kind of, speak with you guys in regards to different careers in the personal finance field. And I'll give them like a couple questions to kind of go through. What I'm going to do is go through the questions that I have in regards to, my daily activities and the things that I needed to do to get in the position I am right now. And then from that point, we'll open up the floor if you guys have any questions. And one of the first things is pretty much the most challenging part of my job. And this being part of me being an accountant, part of me being an entrepreneur and a business owner, that is scheduling. Scheduling is very, very hard for me for the simple fact that any day is not the same thing where I have, a straight routine every day. Some jobs, some businesses, you can have the same routine every day, but typically with me, that's not the case. Especially right now, we're income tax season. And with income taxes, that's the actual amount you have to pay to the federal government for some of the services that the government provides for you. That's taking out your wages that you make. And so a lot of you guys' parents are pretty much in the same, right now going through filing their income taxes, taking care of that right now. And with being in, income tax season, we're pretty swamped with that. And so I have a lot of things that can change at the drop of a dime in regards to people may have needed taxes done, people rescheduling. Some things pop up where I might have one of my employees doing a particular tax they're not comfortable with, then I have to jump off what I'm doing to do it or maybe reschedule for later. So scheduling is probably the most difficult part of my job. The actual job part is pretty easy to do, but the scheduling aspect that's probably the most difficult because that's constantly changing for me. The next part is the most fun part about my job, and that's easy. That's just waking up, getting started every day. I love accounting. Accounting can sometimes be regarded as boring. It's not boring. It's just people think accounting is more attributed to math based. Accounting is more investigative because my background, I'll go over that in a little bit. My undergrad degree, my bachelor's, is in finance. So when we look at it from this perspective, accounting is everything from present to past. That's what accounting is, present to past. Finance is everything from present to future. So it's more math and calculative, more quantitative. But when we look at it from present to past in accounting, you have to be more of an investigative person. You're looking for things that happened a day, a week, a couple months ago, looking for those different dollar amounts of transactions to what got it to this particular point in time where we are now. So you have to be more of an investigative person instead of a quote-unquote math person to deal with accounting. A lot of people think accountants are very, very good at math. You have some aspects of accounting like cost accounting where there's mostly in production and manufacturing plants where they do have to do some kind of calculations in regards to different parts of the production cycle. But most accounting is straight investigative, process elimination, be able to look things up. When you go to the finance part where it's more math and quantitative, that's where things change. But I love looking for things. I love having challenges. I love being a business owner. I love making decisions. I love making deals. I just love getting up in the morning, doing stuff for myself, okay? One key thing I do want to bring up to people in regards to being an entrepreneur and being an employee, either way is great, whichever way you want to be. But psychologically, you got a couple things that are very much different. You can't have the security of an employee being an entrepreneur, but you can't have the freedom of being an entrepreneur, being an employee. So you got to kind of figure out which one you want. Do you want the freedom? Do you want the security? And either way is fine, but you got to be realistic with yourself, which one that you want. And there are a lot of other keys that you have to kind of, things that you have to make sure that you're fine with. And that's with being okay with if you go to work every day and you've done your work, and some days you may have had a good day, some days you have a less productive day, you're still going to get paid. As an entrepreneur, if you're not actually taking care of business and stuff, you won't get paid. These are not reasons to make you do either or the other. It's just kind of things to think about when you want to go down that particular road, okay? But I do want to tell you, and I'll bring it up before we get through, you guys check out my YouTube channel. I do a lot of videos in regards to that information to kind of, give you more insight on the different paths and stuff. Again, neither one is right or wrong. It's just different, okay? The best thing you do is just be aware of the particular difference of the two. The next thing is, what was the question? I think I had that wrote down. That was the third one. What is like my particular schedule? What is my schedule like for a particular day? That is, on a particular day, what my schedule is, I will, let me have this wrote down. Typically, when I first walk in the office, I check my emails. I check the emails, and I'm former military, so I'm extremely structured. So I try to have everything each Sunday. I try to make a tentative schedule for the week. Okay, so I try to have all that stuff for each day kind of mapped out, taking into consideration that things are changing, things pop up. So I try to make sure that those things are kind of put in, the things that have to be done, the things that don't have to be done, the things I want to get to, those kind of things. And I'll go into that a little bit later also. But try to take care of emails first, take care of the priority stuff. Also looking at it in regards when I say priority, what has to get done and how big a time constraint it'll be. I take those in consideration all the time. So if it's something that's very difficult that has to get done, it's going to take a lot of time, I try to get that done in the morning because my brain is a little bit more juiced up in the morning. If you're a type of person that's more productive in the afternoon, you can kind of adjust your schedule with that. Then I also get back on my emails probably like maybe midday, check that for like 30 minutes to an hour because I have a lot of emails coming in. Get back to work around about 11 to 12:30. Then I try to get some lunch if I can, get that in. Try to, after they get back on work, still segregating everything by the actual time commitment and the priority of everything. And probably about 2:30, 3 o'clock, I give myself maybe 30, 40 minutes of social media time. Not just to sit here and blow off steam, but mainly check. I do a lot of ads on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, kind of see what kind of activity or what kind of buzz I'm going, because I always like to cycle the social media aspect back to my business where we do the videos. The videos, kind of validates me as a financial expert. We always kind of recycling people back to the company or back to the videos or back to the different other services that we can do for them and everything. But that's typically a day for me. The next question was, what subject would I probably focus more on in high school? And that probably maybe calculus or maybe some of the more difficult math classes. And the reason being, even though, like I said, I don't deal with them on a daily basis as much being an accountant, but more so I feel like I was a little bit behind the curve with my degree. Now, when we look at a degree like finance, when we look at finance, economics, decision sciences, those are what we call advanced business degrees, where they're a lot more quantitative or use a lot more mathematics, and formulas and calculus. Those things are put into it. I'm sorry, I might have a brain cramp. But those quantitative degrees, advanced business degrees, I was a little bit more behind. I took the highest I went in high school was pre-calculus, but I wish I'd have went in a little bit more with AP. I was just backing up a little bit from it being lazy. But it also would have helped me not be as far behind, especially in undergrad with finance, because typically most of those degrees that are finance, economics, decision sciences, you don't really find too many American students, even if you're at American university, students in schools in the U.S., mostly they're Asian and Indian students, because in Asia and India, they put a bigger emphasis on mathematics and science, where in the U.S. we give more of a holistic student approach, where you're focusing on social studies, English, and things like that. So I was probably maybe, say out of 50 students in each class in undergrad, there's probably maybe 3 or 4 of them that were American students, because again, these are very, very hard math-based business degrees. And I probably focused a little bit more on some of the quantitative aspects. And I didn't know for sure that I was going to be an accountant. Kind of was interested in it. I was an athlete in high school, so I also maybe juggling between that and PE or something like that. But I probably would have focused a little bit more on my mathematics. But I will tell any students in high school, learn for life. Don't learn to pass the class. Learn for life. You never know what that class in English, what that class in science, how it's going to, you're going to be able to use it when you're grown. You know, those kind of things, don't take that for granted. Learn for life. Don't learn to pass the class. Everything that you learn in school, try to retain it, because you never know how you can use it, make it applicable to things that you do later in life. The next question was, as far as what did I do to get prepared? Like I said, I have an undergrad in BBA in finance from Georgia State University. I have a master's in supply chain management. Supply chain is kind of like we're going to the logistical world. Just say we use Walmart for easy example in regards to, you know, everything from the manufacturer. Let's look at a toy company. Just say Mattel produces the toy. They have to, for them to produce the toy, it has to get built. For that point, it has to get shipped to a Walmart place. Walmart picks it up. Walmart has a distribution company. That distribution company sends it out to the different stores, and then they may recycle it back, you know, going back to the creator of the product. That's just like in general example of just dealing with supply chain. It's just pretty much how the different products and services through a particular chain or through a particular line, okay? But I have a master's in that, and that goes back to my quantitative background. A lot of things that I do, especially when I was going back to the math side, I do consulting work for businesses. Businesses will pay me to teach them how to do things more efficiently. When you have like a automotive shop and they're spending 30 minutes on a particular thing, on a particular item, they may say, hey, we got to try to condense this down to 15 minutes or 20 minutes. How can we do this? And I look at the service they do, and we try to use some kind of math to figure it out. Same thing we go into restaurants. Restaurants know, especially your major chains, they know how long it should take for a person when they walk in the door and from how long they should get seated. It's a science to everything. And that's what I do, a lot of consulting work, where I go into small businesses and tell them how to do things more efficiently and more effective to save time and save money for them. Next question, as far as the amount of money that a person can make, usually coming out of college, being an accountant, you can make anywhere from $35,000 to $50,000 on high end, probably 60. But if you get a master's degree, or just say you go into like a CPA, was a certified public accountant, you can start off anywhere from 60,000 to up to over 100,000 with doing that. But it just varies on the particular area that you're in and the amount of experience also with those particular credentials. The next thing is, what are the different career paths you can have as far as advancing? With accounting, you can be an accountant. You can be a senior accountant that's just in charge of other accountants. A controller, which is a person usually in charge of a whole accounting department. A CFO, that's a chief financial officer, and that's the person probably right up under your CEO, chief executive officer of an organization. Your CFO does a lot of the actual strategic planning and forecasting for the finances of a particular organization. Or you can do kind of like what I do also, in addition to the accounting, do a lot of consulting work also for a company. You have companies like Ernst & Young, Deloitte, that do a lot of consulting work for a lot of these major organizations, where these people have all kind of different engineering, accounting experience, and they go to, like I said before, they'll go to some of these bigger organizations and do that same kind of consulting that I just mentioned to you guys. So those are some of the things that you can look at doing. With ending everything out, some of the things I think as far as high school students, and I'm a father of 4. I have 2 sons that have actually graduated high school. One's already graduated from college, one getting ready to go in college, and 2 more in school. These are the biggest things I try to focus on them and tell any student, especially high school students, you're prepping to get ready to get out on your own, that things you focus on in school. Study that math. Math is so applicable to life. You do not, even when you go in your stores, 30% off, 40% off, you hear like they're going to have a 20% increase in your gas bill. You don't want that to be foreign language to you. You want to know exactly what's going on. A lot of times people will give you terms like that to keep you in the dark or keep you confused. So we want to be well aware. Math is a science that is always true. Everything else can kind of be kind of clouded up and left to opinion. Math is math. So I really will focus on anybody that actually, just your basic arithmetic. I mean, you don't have to get so in depth with the calculus or anything, but just your basic arithmetic, knowing fractions, knowing percentages. Those things I think are very, very helpful for any student in high school. Learn, if you want to get in accounting, learn problem solving skills. I think you can do like go on eBay, go on Amazon, buy some logic problem solving books, work on that. Just get those brain muscles working. The brain is probably the most important muscle in your body, and it probably the least worked out of anything. So buy you some books that you can learn, a lot of problem solving, a lot of logic. Focus a lot on reasoning. A lot of people don't know reasoning. When I say about reasoning in terms of just looking at different options, learning how to process different things in front of you. Most people, I think they're walking around right now, aren't really well in depth with that. They just look at one thing and that's it. But when you learn how to gather information, process information, and be able to make a decision from there, that puts you in a whole nother stratosphere, especially trying to go big picture wise with your career and looking forward, moving forward with that. And the most important thing that I think people need, high schools, people need to focus on is networking. Far too often people will say to you, it's not about what you know, it's who you know, right? But I think a lot of times people use that kind of term as a cop-out. If you don't have a lot of who's, you don't know a lot of people, go get some who's, okay? If you know you're not a person that generally likes to talk to people or deal with people, I understand. But you have to be realistic of the limitation you're going to have if you're a standoffish person, okay? So you have to find some kind of way to do more networking, join more groups. I'm not saying that you have to change how you are and just make all these friends. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying, try to make as many connections as possible. Try to do more internships. Try to make, do more community involvement or anything. You don't have to turn to Mr. or Miss Popular or anything, but you have to open up your network base. Okay, because you have to be realistic about as you advance in life, especially when advancing a career, you can apply, but you cannot assume that because you have a certain credentials or certain experience, you're going to get an opportunity because you did all the right things. We all have to remember that we're not unique. Okay, you are an individual, but there are a lot of you out there. A lot of people just like you got the same degree. They've been working in the same field, same amount of time. What's going to be the difference maker for you, right? Can you make a phone call? Do you have some kind of connection with that person? Those are the kind of things that are going to put you ahead. But I think most people don't do a very good job, especially from high school, definitely not in college. Network, okay? And the more you practice on dealing with strangers, networking, the easier it gets. You don't want to try to do it when you have to do it, okay? So you guys are in a great position to try to start on that now. Just kind of getting out your comfort zone with speaking to people. But I think that's one of the most important things people don't do because you can get all the education, all the credentials, do everything you want, be the super superlative. But if people don't know you and you're not accustomed to approaching people doing certain things, you get frustrated because you feel like I've done all the right things, but I still can't get where I feel like I should have. Work on the networking, okay? Get out your comfort zone. Like, trust me what I tell you. The sooner you can do it, the easier it gets. I understand if you're not that type of person, it gets scary, but just start working on that. But I hope I didn't move too fast with everything, but that's my advice to you guys.
That was perfect. But I would like to wrap up with you sharing with us about your YouTube channel. One of the courses I teach is ag business. And the unfortunate thing about the agriculture industry is oftentimes all of those positions that you named are all wrapped up in one rancher, cool. Right? They're the CFO, the CEO, and everything. Mm-hmm. So it's become really important in our community for me to teach the kids as much as I can about all of those different things to run a business. Would you tell us a little bit about your YouTube channel and how I can find it?
Cool. Again, it's Mr. Short Dollar, Mr. Short Dollar. Just like that, you can put it in your basic YouTube or Google search, and it'll come up. You'll see my big handsome head pop up, and then once the channel comes up, and we talk about personal finance, entrepreneurship, business, and real estate investing. And it's funny you bring that up because I do a lot of videos in regards to small business fundings and grants. And with that said, dealing with the agricultural sector, the federal government has put a lot of money into the USDA and rural development in regards to different businesses or even different municipalities trying to advance their agriculture and local business economy. So I say this to say there is a very big push in the agricultural sector. The only problem of it is, I would say personally, I don't think the government does a good enough job promoting this to let people know that. But they have a lot of funding for that. You just have to kind of, it's just like anything else, if you really want to, just got to do a little homework on it. But with that said, I have links to those grants in regards to from the USA as far as the rural development. I have a couple videos on that. They're mixed with other grant programs on the YouTube channel. But if you are interested in it, again, I will start now. Especially the sooner you can get in, gather information on, if you're a young student looking at getting into agriculture and everything, because again, that is an industry that's going to be booming in the next 10 to 20 years. I mean, it's going to be booming because it's going to, I think it's a whole lot, if we can get things produced on this side, especially from a scientific standpoint, we don't have to import certain things in. We can get certain things that can be created here. Certain imports that we're getting all from all around the world, we can get them done here cheaper than we can get, and more effectively, and most importantly, better. Here, it makes more sense to kind of, import them in. Plus, it also stimulates the economy because, again, it's coming from here as opposed to us at to purchase things that from overseas or anywhere else. But, again, it goes back to doing your homework and don't be so focused on the task, focused on the holistic part about it, as far as how the government runs, how it's funded, how you can actually do business. Because one more thing, I want to push with everybody, the world is flat. We're in the information age. So you can do transactions. If you're in Colorado, if you're in Texas, you're in Georgia, you're in California, the world is flat. We got something called Amazon and UPS and FedEx. Products can get shipped in a couple of days. So you don't have to be limited to what's local to you or what's around you. If you have a certain kind of grape, a certain kind of apple, a certain kind of produce that you produce, and people on the other side of the country want it, you can get it to them in a couple of days. So just remember that. Remember, take advantage of the gifts that modern technology has for you right now, okay? And I think you guys will be super, super successful with that.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And I'll probably use this recording a lot in my ag business class when I teach it, and maybe ask you to be a guest speaker again when we get there. So thank you for your time.
It'll be my pleasure. You guys take care. Be safe, okay?
Thank you. You too.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.